Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwarah Gurureva Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Humble prostrations to one and all. Today's topic is how to bring maximum efficiency out of us. How to become efficient. This is the topic. All the Mahatmas unanimously say, all the management gurus also, they have no second opinion. All the people all over the world, they say that the best comes out of us only when we have a noble goal. So what is the way to bring out the greatest efficiency out of us? The most important thing is we must have a noble goal to strive for. It is this goal which brings out the best in us. There's a very famous saying of Swami Vivekananda. He says, choose one ideal, one goal. Keep it as the very goal of life. Think of nothing else. Let every nerve, every muscle, let every cell, every part of your body reverberate with that goal. And if you can do this, then definitely you are going to achieve that goal. All that energy is there within you. You can do anything and everything. That power is already there in us. But the only thing is, we must sincerely desire that goal and work for that goal. So this is the way to bring out maximum efficiency out of us. Now today, we are going to discuss a case study, and through which very many things will be discussed. The case study is based on the real story of Michael Phelps. I hope you have heard of this youngster, Michael Phelps. He is described as the most decorated Olympian in the human history. The most decorated Olympian in the human history. Means what? Means he is the one who has earned maximum number of medals in the entire Olympic history. He won around 28 medals, out of which 23 are gold. He participated in 4 Olympics, and in these 4 Olympics he won 28 medals. This is a record by itself. We are going to study his journey of life. Michael Phelps was born in 1985 in United States. As far as his childhood is concerned, it was a very tragic childhood. Tragic childhood means what? Even when he was a small boy, he found his mother and father fighting all the time, quarreling with each other. Now just imagine the peace and harmony of a family where father and mother is all the time fighting. There was never peace at home. So he used to run away from there. Somewhere in some lonely place he would go and he would cry for a long time. Another tragic incident happened when he was a small boy. That was at the age of 9, his father divorced his mother and went away, remarried another woman and lived somewhere else. So literally he lost his father at the age of 9. When he was in the 6th grade, the teachers from the school started complaining. They complained to his mother that your son is a nuisance in the class, all the time disturbed and disturbing others also, not paying any attention to studies. This way the teachers started complaining, and finally this mother took this boy to a doctor, and there the doctor says that this child is suffering from a disease called attention deficiency hyperactive disorder, ADHD, that's what they say, attention deficiency hyperactive disorder. So what is this disease? So the name itself suggests attention deficiency. Attention deficiency means what? Not able to pay attention, not able to focus the mind upon something, not able to concentrate. This is a disease, they say. Attention deficiency and hyperactive. Hyperactive means he can't sit quietly in a place. So this is the disease the child was suffering from, the doctor said. Now what could the poor mother do? She could not do anything. So in his very childhood itself, he was disliked by his neighbors, his friends, his teachers, his relatives. The child felt lonely, depressed, dejected, and all the time these teachers used to compare, they used to scold this boy, saying that, see others how well they are studying and look at yourself. Your marks are so low. You are a good for nothing fellow. Now just imagine the state of a mind of a small child who is not receiving love from anyone, recognition from anyone, appreciation from anyone. He was filled with inferiority complex. And he really felt that I am a fellow who is good for nothing. So he used to run away from his house because there was no peace anywhere. The only solace he got was in that nearby swimming pool. So he used to jump into the swimming pool, and in that cool waters he found great solace. So hours together he would just remain in that swimming pool. So this went on for some few days and few months maybe. It was at this time, so that swimming pool, there was a great coach who used to visit that swimming pool. That coach's name was Bob Bowman. That was the name of the coach, B-O-B, Bob Bowman, B-O-W-M-A-N, Bowman. So he was watching this child, remaining hours together in this swimming pool. So every day he was coming and he was seeing this. And he understood that this child is really interested in swimming. So this Bob Bowman was a swimming coach. So one day he called this boy, said, come here. I've been watching you for so many days and I find that you are truly, genuinely interested in swimming. Actually, this boy was swimming because just to escape from all the pains and sufferings of the world. Because that was the only place where he was finding peace. So this swimming coach, he called him and said, do you like swimming? So Michael said, yes, of course I like swimming. So this coach asked, do you want to become a champion in swimming? Would you like to become a champion? So then this boy said, sir, of course I would like to become a champion, but I think you are asking this question to a wrong person. Sir, you don't know my history. I am suffering from this disease, attention deficiency, hyperactive disorder, which means I will not be able to concentrate in any subject. I don't have the ability to concentrate. And that's why my scores in my academics, it's very poor. And you are asking me to become a champion? Sir, it is out of question. I don't have the ability. It was at this time that this coach, he asked him, what is the name of the disease you said? He said, sir, it is attention deficiency hyperactive disorder. This is the disease which I am suffering from. That's what the doctors say. So now this coach, he took this term. He said attention deficiency. Attention in what? You are deficient in attention, isn't it? Deficient means lack. You are lacking attention. Attention in what? Because the ability to concentrate also depends on what you are concentrating. If you are concentrating on a subject which you have no interest, then you will find that you are not able to concentrate for long. So the depth of concentration and the duration of concentration has something to do with interest in the subject. If you are truly interested in a subject, you will find that you are able to concentrate deep and for a long time. So there is a relationship between the interest in the subject and the ability to concentrate. So my dear child, you said attention deficiency. Attention in what? No, this was the first time the child thought in this way. So then this coach said, I can understand you are not able to concentrate in your studies because you are not interested in studies. That I can understand. But that doesn't mean that you cannot concentrate at all. That doesn't mean that you don't have the ability to concentrate. It is absolutely wrong to say that. Because we find in our lives, and what that coach said was right. We find in our lives that there are children who are very poor in mathematics, very poor in numbers, but because he is interested in, say, for example, cricket, the child is able to remember everything. Which batsman has scored how much runs in how many balls? Which bowler, how many wickets he has taken? Everything he is able to remember. A child who is interested in, say, football, he is able to remember all the scores, especially World Cup football. So many games happen, so many countries play together. He knows, he is able to remember the score. Which country has scored how many goals against which other country? So that means the ability to concentrate, the ability to remember has something to do with the interest in the subject. So this Bobo man, he told this child, who said that you don't have attention? It is only that you have not paid attention to something which you are interested in, that's all. Everybody has the ability to concentrate. The only thing is that ability to concentrate comes when you get the subject of your choice, of your interest. So therefore, I don't believe in this attention deficiency problem. Forget about it. Now you spoke about the other one, hyperactive disorder. My dear child, who said being hyperactive is a disorder? In fact, I am looking for someone who is hyperactive. Because I am looking for someone who can create records. And to create record, you will have to train very, very hard. And if you have to train very, very hard, you must be hyperactive. I don't want normally active kids. I want hyperactive ones who can train himself according to my instructions. Now, this was the first time when this child heard something like this. Because everyone would say, you are a good for nothing fellow. You are a useless fellow. You have such a disease. Throughout your life, you will have to suffer this. Nothing great you can achieve. This is what he was continuously listening from others. And because of which he had gone into a deep state of depression. A great sense of inferiority complex had gripped him. This was the way the whole world was behaving towards this boy. But he was the first man who spoke in a totally different tone, a totally different attitude, who proved that whatever he has, it is not some defect. In fact, it is a positive thing. He was amazed. And then this coach said, "My dear son, listen. Never compare yourself with others. This is the biggest mistake you are doing. Just because your scores are less in the academics, you think that you are good for nothing. It is not true. Everyone is born with a particular talent. Some are good in academics, but some are good in arts, some are good in music, some are good in so many fields are there. In this world, there are infinite number of fields. And you can be good in any of these fields. It is not the classroom which is going to decide whether you are a fit or an unfit person. No. A classroom is only testing you in a particular field. Whether you are able to study properly, whether you are able to memorize properly, whether you are able to write exam properly, this is all what a classroom does. Now, just because you are a failure in the classroom doesn't mean you are a failure in your life. Never. There are infinite number of venues, there are infinite number of fields where a person may be fit. For example, suppose there is a competition held among a monkey, a deer and a fish. And suppose the judge says, the winner is the one who climbs the tree fastest. So who will win? The fish will be declared good for nothing. A deer will be declared good for nothing. Only the monkey will win, isn't it? But suppose the competition says, the one who runs fastest is number one. Then the deer will win. But if the law is, the one who swims faster is the number one, then the fish will win. So see, all the three, they have their abilities, they have their own chosen fields where they are best. In the same way, every one of us, we have some hidden talents in us. There are fields where we can excel. So therefore, you should never compare yourself with others. Good. It is possible that you may not be good in academics, but that doesn't mean that you are not good in anything else. My intuitive feeling says that you are very good in swimming, because I have been watching you for so many days. Why don't you try your luck in swimming? So this way that coach really inspired this boy. And for the first time, this boy was receiving love, receiving attention, receiving admiration, receiving lot of positive inputs from this man. He was completely bowled by this man. He had tremendous amount of love, respect and regard for this man. And he said, "Sir, I am yours. If you think that I can be a champion in this swimming, I promise you that whatever you say, I will do it. Because in your presence, I really feel inspired. So I don't want to miss you. So just for your company's sake, I will do whatever you say." So in this way, the boy, he agrees to get trained under this great coach, Bob Bowman. The training started. Bowman insisted. According to him, the philosophy is, there is nothing impossible in this world. In this world, there is nothing which is impossible. But the only thing is, to achieve anything in life, you will have to pay a price. And what is the price? The price is hard work. Concentrated hard work is the price to be paid. And if you can do this, anyone can achieve anything in life. This was his philosophy. I've heard a very beautiful definition of big shot. So who is a big shot? So the definition says, big shots were small shots who kept on shooting. big shots. They were, once upon a time, they were all small shots only. But the only difference is they kept on shooting. So thus, a day came when they became big shots. So this was the philosophy of Bob Bowman. Work hard, anything is possible. And this was a coach who would never be satisfied with any performance. He would say, no, you can do better, you can do better. No, this is not what I expect from you. More, much more. This way he would bring out the best from each and every trainee. This was his nature. And another philosophy which Bowman used to insist, it is mind your own business. Mind your own business means what? Pay attention to only yourself. Don't allow the mind to get distracted. So he would say, never pay attention to the left lane or the right lane while swimming. You need not pay attention to anyone else. Who is in front of you, who is behind you. No, you just pay attention to your own performance. Now this is another very important instruction which we all have to keep in mind. Let us not compare ourselves with others. Comparing in the sense, am I superior, am I inferior? No. Our performance depends on two factors. Number one, the intensity of concentration. We must try to maximize our concentration and minimize our distraction. These are the two factors. Maximize your concentration and minimize your distraction. Somewhere I read that P.V. Sindhu, when she was getting trained under P. Gopichand, her coach, it is said that for 1 full year she was never allowed to touch her mobile phone. Just imagine the kind of training they undergo. No distractions allowed. Only focus upon your goal. What is our condition? All the time distracted by internet, the social media. How can we achieve anything great when distraction level is so much? So these are the lessons we have to learn from these people. If you have to achieve anything great in life, there are only two ways. Maximize your concentration upon your chosen field, and the second, minimize your distraction. So we must all maintain a diary in which we must mark how many hours in a day I am wasting in distractions. This is how we can make the best use of every day. This is how we can maximize our performance. If you want to fill a pot with water, two things are essential. What is it? How fast you pour the water into the pot, and next, how many leakages are there in the pot which prevents the pot from filling. So pay attention to pouring water, pay attention to minimizing the leakage, then you can fill the pot easily. In the same way, pay attention to two things, maximizing of concentration, and the second, minimizing distraction. So this was what Bob, the coach, was emphasizing upon. So this way training went on. And whatever this coach said, Michael Phelps, he just listened, he just obeyed. The coach used to get up at 4:30 in the morning and he would ask everyone to, get ready. Now you will find all kinds of, students. Some are lazy, some don't come in time. Some keep giving excuses, this and that. Some escape training because sometimes it will be very difficult. All kinds of students you will find in all classes. But Michael Phelps was not like that. Whatever the teacher said, whatever the coach said, he would do it. 100 push-ups, he would do it with difficulty. 100 sit-ups, 100 pull-ups, whatever it is, whatever the instruction is given, how much ever difficult it would be, he would do it. Now what happens when a student listens to his teacher, obeys his teacher implicitly? Now see, this is a very important point which we all have to keep in mind. How to win the grace and blessings of our teacher? We can win the grace and blessings only through one way, and that is through implicit obedience. When we obey our teacher without complaining, without grumbling, when we do this, then we are invoking his grace and blessings upon us. And this grace and blessing is very, very important in succeeding in our life. It's very important. The grace and blessings of our teachers, our parents, our elders, they are very important. It can take us a long way. The importance of this blessing, I will tell you a story from Mahabharata. I am sure you must be knowing this. So the two armies, they had come to wage the war, the Mahabharata war. They were just about to start the war. At that time, Yudhishthira, he just removes his armor, removes the quiver, keeps aside his bow and arrow and all the other weapons, and he starts straight walking across to the other side towards the Kaurava army. All were stunned. Yudhishthira, the king, the leader of the other army, without any armor, he is just walking across. Very many thought Yudhishthira is going to surrender everything and he is going to retreat, saying that, I don't want this war, take away everything, we are leaving. This is what very many thought. Pandavas were scared, Kauravas were happy. But then what did Yudhishthira do? He went straight to Bhishma Pitama first and he prostrated to Bhishma Pitama. This was totally unexpected. He prostrated to him. And what did Bhishma Pitama say? Bhishma said, Vijayi Bhava. May you be victorious. Then he went to Dronacharya, his teacher. Again prostrated. Just imagine in a war scene where there is only hatred and animosity, there is only bitterness. Both of them are trying to kill each other. In such an environment, this person is doing this. Please keep this in mind. He goes and prostrates to Dronacharya, receives his blessing. Then he goes to Kripacharya, bows down. All these three people were stunned. Bhishma, Drona, Kripacharya, and all of them said, Yudhishthira, if you had not done this act, we would have killed all of you. Yudhishthira won that grace and blessings of all those great ones. And naturally, Pandavas won the war. What I am trying to say is the importance of blessings. It's very important. Same thing with Arjuna also. We receive this blessing and grace not just like that, only when we obey implicitly our teachers and parents, we get this blessing. In Sanskrit, it is called as anugraha vritti. When you find that your disciple is strictly obeying your instructions, a feeling comes from the depth of your heart. A feeling that may everything good happen to this fellow. That feeling is called, the blessing, that anugraha vritti. Arjuna won it from Bhagavan Sri Krishna. As far as Arjuna was concerned, he was an amazing guy. An obedient son, an obedient brother, an obedient disciple, an obedient devotee, an amazing person. In the Mahabharata war, Bhagavan Krishna asked him to kill Karna. You see, it is absolutely against the law of the war that you kill somebody who is not attacking you. So Karna's wheel was stuck. He was trying to remove that wheel. At that time, Bhagavan says, chop his head off. Now see, Anyone would have said, no, 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 how can I do it? It is against war and all. But Arjuna said, if Bhagavan has said it, I am just going to do it. Without bothering to think whether it is right or wrong, whether it is dharma or dharma, I don't care. If Bhagavan has said it, I am going to do it. Now this is called obedience. This is called implicit obedience. Very many times Arjuna had shown this kind of obedience to Bhagavan. And that is why Bhagavan loved him so much. Without using your intellectual ability, you just surrendered to somebody completely. This is called total Sharanagati. Whatever Bhagavan says, I will just do it. So Bhagavan loved Arjuna so much. Bhaktosi sakha cheti, Bhagavan says. You are my devotee, Arjuna. And therefore what happened? Bhagavan gave every best thing to Arjuna. And not only that, if Bhagavan's grace and blessing was not there, it is impossible that Arjuna would have survived the war. In fact, to that extent we can say. How many times Bhagavan has saved the life of Arjuna? It is not once or twice. Karna had kept a particular missile only for Arjuna. That missile was an infallible missile received from Indra. He had kept it only for Arjuna. Because he knew that for this missile there is no what you call counter missile. But then Bhagavan knew this, that Karna had kept this missile only for Arjuna. So what did Bhagavan do? He sent Ghatotkacha. And Ghatotkacha, I hope you know, Bhima's son. And that day he fought so valiantly that it appeared as though he would finish the entire Kaurava forces. So then Karna had no other option to use this missile and to kill Ghatotkacha. Thus Arjuna's life was saved. In another instance, Karna again sends a missile. Bhagavan brings the entire chariot, it is said, down by some few feet. And it is said this missile just knocked off the crown of Arjuna. And thus Arjuna's life was saved. There is also another story which says, after the end of the war, Bhagavan tells Arjuna, you get down first and go away. Bhagavan insisted that Arjuna should get down from the chariot. Arjuna got down. And then afterwards, when Bhagavan got down from the chariot, it is said the entire chariot exploded. Why was it? So the reason given is, so many missiles had struck this chariot. Only because Bhagavan was there, nothing happened to the chariot. The moment Bhagavan got down from that chariot exploded into pieces. The point which I am trying to say is, it is because of this obedience of Arjuna towards Bhagavan that Bhagavan's grace and blessing was always with him. And so therefore, it is this blessing which protected Arjuna all the time. Even in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita also you see, he was totally confused, not knowing what to do. It was Bhagavan's blessing in the form of Bhagavad Gita which saved Arjuna from getting a bad name. Otherwise he was just going to run away from the battlefield. The point is this, we must always strive to get the blessings of our teachers, our parents. It acts like an armor and protects us from all dangers. Right, continuing with our story. So now, where were we? Yes, training was happening. So he won that grace and blessings of his teacher by implicit obedience. The training was tough, but he just obeyed his teacher totally, and naturally therefore his performance was, par excellent. Even in the school days itself, he started breaking records. And in 2001, roughly when he was 15 years of age, he became the youngest swimmer to break a world record. 2001. And in 2004, in the Athens Olympics, he won 6 gold medals and 2 bronze. which was considered to be the second best by any Olympian in the whole world. Second best. So naturally question comes, who was the first best? The first best was an Australian swimmer. His name was Mark Spitz. So in 1972, he had won 7 golds. And this record was unbroken. So 2004 this was happening. So 1972 record was unbroken. He scored some 7 golds, Mark Spitz. And in 2004, Michael Phelps, he makes a bold statement. He says, in 2008 Beijing Olympics, I am going to break this record. I am going to win 8 gold medals. Mark Spitz, he won 7, I will win 8. Very many comments started pouring. Now you will find in the society, well-wishers are also there, ill-wishers are also there. So there were ridiculing and they started making fun of him then. So many different kinds of comments. What does he think of himself? He is God or what? Someone wrote. So all kinds of things were happening in the media. All kinds of criticisms, all kinds of things happen. Now this is another thing which we have to learn in life. What is the thing to be learned? How to handle criticisms. When criticisms come, don't get discouraged by it. Don't get distracted by it. And don't get drained by it. 3 Ds we have to remember. Getting distracted, getting drained, getting discouraged. You must see this. Nowadays we have all these YouTube videos. The best batsmen, they are sledged by these bowlers. Sledging happens. They ridicule them. They make fun of them. They taunt them. What is the purpose? So that this batsman will get distracted, he will get agitated, he will get angry, and once you are angered, you are disturbed, and once you are disturbed, you have lost focus, and once you have lost focus, you can be easily bowled. That's why this tactic is used, the tactic of sledging. The best batsman, you have to just observe. They don't speak a word. When the bowler is taunting, the Shoaib Akhtar videos are plenty are there. Shoaib Akhtar, McGrath, they are all famous for all this. So when this taunting comes, they just remain silent. They don't shout back, fight back, no. What do? These best batsmen, they just speak with their bat. You understand what is speaking with the bat? The next ball will be sent either to 6 or 4. They don't speak anything. They don't do anything. Because they know that once I am disturbed, I am a nobody. This is very important. Once you are disturbed, you may be rank number 1, but once you are disturbed, everything is gone. All your efficiency is gone. So they never allow themselves to get disturbed. They never get tempted to shout back. No. So this is what you have to do when criticisms come. Michael Phelps also did the same thing. Another important thing which you have to keep in mind is criticisms will come. If you are doing anything good, know for sure that you will have lot of criticism. Why is it so? The whole world is designed that way. Unless there is a force of opposition, nobody can make progress in life. This is the law. There has to be some opposing force. It is this opposing force which becomes a blessing in disguise to bring our best. It is something like if you want to walk, there has to be this opposing force of friction. All those people who have studied physics, I am sure everyone has studied physics. So we all know, without friction, no forward movement is possible. So friction may appear to be an opposing force, but actually it is helping us to move forward. In the same way, this kite, they say the kite goes higher and higher only when there is an opposing wind which is blowing. Even the birds like eagle, etc., they go high because the wind is opposing. They go against the wind. So an opposing force is absolutely necessary to make us strong. Even in spirituality also you will find, only when we struggle with our mind, we struggle with the mind filled with all weaknesses, only then we become strong. The struggle is unavoidable. The opposing force is unavoidable. So who is the wise man? The wise man is the one who makes use of this opposing force in order to bring the best out of oneself. So Michael Phelps, lot of criticism started pouring, and every criticism he would write down. He would write down, this person spoke such and such word against me. This person spoke such and such. All the remarks, all the jokes, all the ridicules, all the negative comments he would write. And the major thing happened when his role model, his ideal, Ian Thorpe, a great Australian swimmer, whom he considered his role model, he said, I don't think Michael Phelps is going to attain 8 gold. No way. When he said this, now can you imagine? He was fired. There was a rush of adrenaline, as they say. He wrote it. And all in small, small pieces of paper he wrote. And what did he do? All these slips of paper he would stick all around in his room. On the walls, on the doors, in the bathroom, everywhere. And this particular thing which Ian Thorpe had said, that Michael Phelps is not going to get it, he stuck it on the mirror. Why did he do it? Every time he would lose enthusiasm in training, he would read all this. And again he would fire up. All these criticizing statements would fire him up. And then he would again train himself. And he found out that Mark Spitz, who had won 7 gold, he used to train for 8 hours a day. He found out, and therefore then what did he do? He started training himself for 12 hours a day from 2004 to 2008. He made the training intense, and he could do it because anyway he was hyperactive. For a hyperactive person, there is no problem as far as activity was concerned. Now see, that which the world considered a disorder, now this is called converting calamities into opportunities. Converting your negative thing into positive thing. He started training himself 12 hours a day. There was no holiday, there was no Sunday, there was no birthday, there was no Christmas day. He just forgot everything about the world and their celebrations. Now this is what is called as focus. This is what is called as concentration. And then a very unfortunate thing happened in 2007. What happened? He broke his wrist. There was a fracture in his right hand. Now this was a very shattering moment, because when he went to the doctor said rest is a must, no practice possible. Because this is the only way the body can heal itself. The only way the body can heal itself is through rest. So you must give rest. Now just imagine, you are asking a swimmer who is going to participate in Olympics the next year. This happened in 2007, 2008 is the Olympics. You are asking the swimmer to give rest. To what? To hands. For a swimmer, hands are the most important things. He was completely shattered. He did not know what to do. Now such moments will come in all our lives. Somewhere you reach a dead end like. Doctor said forget about Olympics. Health is most important. You can go for the next Olympics. Now what did you do? In such moments when you are completely stuck, the only way is pray to the Lord. Bhagwan, guide me. Just like Arjuna did. In the same way, we also must do the same thing. then what will happen? If you take your problem to Lord, know for sure that you will get a response. Know for sure, 100%. And this is what happened in his life also. So in that moments of prayer, in a flash, a thought passed his mind, as though Bhagavan was answering him. A thought came, only your hands are fractured, isn't it? But your legs are intact. That's all. The next day, he was there in the practice session. Everybody was wondered, what is this? This fellow has come back. He said, yes. Why have you come? To watch us? No, I have come to practice. Practice? But your hand. I have come not to give practice to my hands, I have come to practice my legs. Now see his attitude. As they say, losers, they try to find excuse in everything. Winners, they try to find reasons to achieve. And then he started practicing his legs. Now just imagine, swimming without hands is very, very difficult. He started training only the legs without the hands. Practicing swimming only with legs. Now this was an innovative idea, and then what happens? In the process, his legs became very strong and very swift. Without the support of the hands, when you train your legs becomes very strong. And this is what he did. So therefore, he did not waste time. In the process, his legs became very strong and swift. He became almost unbeatable, invincible. And finally, 2008 Olympics, everybody was watching, especially this fellow. Is he going to break the world record? So events started happening one by one. Especially the fourth event was something worth mentioning. So what happened was, it was 200-meter butterfly. So he was swimming. And somewhere after 100 meters, his goggles cracked. Now you know the importance of goggles. The goggles, it prevents the gush of water from hitting the eye. Without goggles, you will not be able to see anything. So it cracked. Now what can you do? You can't withdraw from the competition. You can't restart it. It has already begun. So it is said, the last 100 meters, he swam without seeing anything, completely blind. And he could swim because for so many years he had practiced, so therefore he knew, after this many strides I am going to reach. He clearly knew it, where he was. And that happened because of so many years of practice. Now this is what happens. I am reminded of one of the stories of Arjuna. So it is said, one night, he was having his dinner. The lamp was lit next to him, and suddenly one blow of breeze and this lamp was put off. There was utter darkness everywhere. And then he observed, as he was going to put that morsel of food into his mouth, suddenly one thought passed his mind. How am I putting this morsel of food into my mouth in this darkness? I am not seeing my mouth, but I am able to put this food into my mouth. If I can do this, even in this darkness, if I can put this morsel of food into my mouth, if this is possible, then definitely it is possible that I can shoot the target without seeing the target. Now see, immediately he finished his food and then he started practicing in the dark. And a time came when he was able to shoot the target even in the dark. Then he upgraded his practice. ability to shoot the target just by listening to the sound of the target. So someone would just bang a plate, a metallic plate, and then they would throw it in the space, and then he would, with blindfolded eyes, he would just shoot that arrow, just listening to that sound coming from the target. And thus Arjuna became Shabdavedhi, is a term. Shabdavedhi means the one who can penetrate the target just by listening to the sound coming from the target. What I am trying to say is this. He swam the last 100 meters literally blind. And finally, when he touched the finish line, he rose above the water, removed that goggles, and looked at the scoreboard. What did he find? He found Michael Phelps, 1.52.03 world record. He had broken a world record. He was in tears. Again, the seventh event, he was continuously winning gold. Seventh event also is worth mentioning. He won by 0.01 seconds, 1/100th of a second. So it is beautifully said, harder you work, the luckier you get. It is so true. Luck is not something happening accidentally. The one who works hard, the luckier he gets. And on 17th of August 2008, he won the 8th gold medal also. And his role model, Ian Thorpe, he was watching everything from the stadium. So when he won that 8th gold medal, Ian Thorpe came running and hugged him and said, "Today is the happiest day of my life because you have proved me wrong. I made a statement and you have proved me wrong. So this is indeed something, a moment to celebrate for me." He got a hug from his role model. Well, my story ends here and my time also ends here. So again, to brief up the whole thing, the point is this: the best comes out of us when we have a noble goal to achieve. So unless we have fixed a noble goal, the best will never come out of us. And this is true in every field, every field. I'm sure you must have heard these 10 boys who got trapped in a cave. I think it happened in Thailand or something. Those boys were football players. Along with the coach, they were stuck in that cave. Almost 10-15 days they were stuck. And you know what they did? They meditated. The coach said this: there is only one way to survive, otherwise we are all dead. There is only one way to survive, and that is to conserve energy. As far as pure water is there, we are getting it. Air is there, we are getting it. Food is not there, no problem. We can survive for days together if we can do only one thing. And that one thing is conserve your energy as much as possible. And how to conserve your energy? You can conserve energy by stop worrying, number one. You can conserve your energy by minimum physical movement. And thus this coach, his name was E.K. This coach made these restless kids sit and meditate and watch their breath. For how many days? Not for a few hours. Remember, even for 10 minutes sitting like that is very difficult. These kids sat for 10 days, 10 to 15 days. Can you believe? In that cold, the temperature was somewhere around 18 degrees inside that cave because it was heavily raining outside. In that utter darkness, without food, that miserable state, in that damp area, They meditated for 10 days. Who? The restless fellows. Kids are by nature restless. And if they are football players, they are embodiments of restlessness. Such restless fellows sat and meditated. Can you believe? Now this is called, so when we are cornered, the best comes out of us. When we have a noble goal, the best comes out of us. So this is the way to bring out the greatest efficiency from all of us. So my 1 hour is over. Now if you have any questions, most welcome.
Query, like earlier you mentioned about ADHD and how the coaches abroad, they conditioned Michael Phelps to focus their attention on swimming. But in India, I somehow feel that the awareness towards ADHD and conditioning the child towards something that they're good at is not there. How can we overcome this problem, Swamiji?
What is the problem?
No, like there's not much awareness about ADHD, or if the people are not trained to condition the child towards something that they are good at. So, how do we overcome this problem?
See, who brought this child in contact with Bo Bowman?
I think.
Was it an accident?
Not accident, I would say. Maybe it was fate, I would say.
Just imagine. So here is a child who is totally helpless, full of inferiority complex, not knowing the ability within, not knowing his own potential, not having any goal, totally lost. And exactly at that time, a great coach comes and he watches this particular child and he's, trains this child, a poor child, remember, who has no money, etc. He got training not because of his money, but because of his talent. So who do you think is responsible for bringing this great coach with this great student together?
I think it was a mix of luck, fate, and the talent of Michael Phelps, all three put together.
That won't do. The answer to this question is Bhagavan alone has brought both of them together. It is the Lord alone. Why? Because the whole cosmos is run by whom? Always we make this mistake. We make this mistake that it is Bhagavan who is running the world. He is the Bhagavan who is the inner controller. He is the one who knows each and every one because he is there right in our hearts. So he knows what is the demand and where is the supply. So what does he do? He brings the demand and supply together. The whole world is beautifully functioning. It is only because of that omniscient, omnipotent Lord. Never forget this. So if you deserve something, you will get it. No doubt about it. You will get it. You know this Helen Keller, the child who was dumb, deaf, blind, a similar situation, totally helpless, completely filled with inferiority complex, a feeling that I am good for nothing, I am a burden for the society, for everyone. When that child was suffering like that, a great teacher comes. And that teacher has tremendous amount of compassion and patience to teach such a child. Remember what an amount of patience you need to teach a child who is dumb, deaf and blind. What an amount of patience is necessary. And that teacher comes and teaches, not for 1 or 2 years, for so many years. I think almost 50 years they were together. Just imagine. Who do you think is responsible for bringing these two personalities together? You think it's an accident? Never, never. So when you come to know that this world is beautifully being, guided, controlled by a supreme, omniscient, all compassionate, all powerful Lord, it's a great relief. And the relief is, yes, I am well taken care of. I have to do only one thing. Let me be good. Let me do good. Because this is the only way to please that Lord. The rest, everything is well taken care of. Then what happens is there is tremendous amount of peace of mind. There is a tremendous amount of fulfillment, happiness. Just like a child sitting in the lap of mother. That child knows nothing. But that child is the happiest being in the entire planet. Why? Because the child knows my mother is there. She knows everything. I don't know anything, but my mother knows everything and I am in the lap of my mother. Can you imagine the happiness of that child? That child knows nothing. People who boast themselves that I know everything, they are the most miserable ones in this world. And this child who knows nothing and who accepts that I know nothing, the child is the happiest. So this is the secret of happiness also. So in this class, I will give you another secret. How to be efficient and how to be happy. Did I answer, Anirudh?
Yes, Swamiji. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Swamiji, just a quick question. So, at the start, you mentioned the noble goal. Sometimes, how can you identify that goal? Like you get, I know there's a lot of distractions, but I think for myself, the noble goal is work, office at the moment, but it doesn't always make you happy. But how can you identify a noble goal that way?
Yes. See, let me tell you, what is your purpose of life? What is your goal? What should be your objective? How you must spend your life? Even you don't know. See, there is only one being who knows it, and that is Lord. So when we are confused in life, not knowing what to do with this life, what to strive for, because there are 1,000 people striving for thousands of things in this world, and I don't know the purpose of my life. When such things come, the best way is turn towards your Creator. Remember, we are creature, and there is a Creator. So my purpose of life can be known fully well only by my Creator. Not my teachers, not my parents. No, only my Creator can know the purpose of my life. So that is why we have a beautiful verse in Bhagavad Gita. Karpanya doshopahata swabhava prachami tvam dharma sammudha cheta. So there is a verse there. So whenever you have this, it comes in the second chapter. So here Arjuna says, Bhagavan, I am completely confused. It comes in the second chapter, maybe 9th or 10th verse or something like that. So Arjuna says, Bhagavan, please guide me. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Now, who is telling this? The most world number one archer is confused. Then what to talk of us? So how much ever efficient, how much ever brilliant you are, whatever you are, a time will come when you will be totally confused and you will not know what to do, what not to do. There's only one way, sincere prayer addressed to your Creator. And believe me or not, you will get a perfect answer. This is the only way, there is no other way. This is the best way. Right.
Thank you.
Hari Om Swamiji, I would like to ask a question. So my question is, recently we hear a lot about this term called burnout. So while preparing for entrances, that if you study for long hours, you'll get burnt out. Or like I'm a medical student, so like some of these interns and my seniors, there's something called physician burnout because of long hours of postings, etc.
Yes.
So I would like to know what we can do about it. How do we avoid it? Is there something like burnout, first of all? Or is it just the mind's creation?
See, the more and more your ego is involved in doing anything, you will experience this burnout. Please understand, your greatest enemy in this world is not somebody outside. It is this ego in you. And all these burnout, stress, frustration, depression, dejection, all these terms, whatever you see, bundle up everything. The whole thing comes from this one villain in your life called ego. And what is ego? I did it. I am a great one. I am a self-made man. This, that, etc. This foolish, wrong notion about oneself. Thinking that I am a great person. You just ask this question to yourself. How is this body alive? It is because of the Lord. I don't know the functioning of my heart. I don't know the functioning of my liver, kidney, brain. I don't know anything of this world. But I think that I am a great person in this world. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
That is how the world is functioning. Everybody thinks he is a great man. Now this is called ego. To the extent you have intense ego, to that extent you will be burnt out fast. And to the extent you can put an end to this ego, dissolve this ego, humble this ego, saying, God, all these abilities, it is yours. I am a nobody. I am just an instrument in your hands. Whatever good things are happening through me, it is not by me. I am only an instrument. You are working through me. To the extent you can this way surrender unto that infinite, omniscient, omnipotent power, to that extent, you will find that you are able to turn out tremendous amount of work without any kind of stress. Because you don't say, I am doing it. You say, it is the Lord who is doing it. You know, Puja Gurudev used to work for 18 hours a day with 18% of his heart functioning. Can you believe it? Puja Gurudev. Even when he was 75, 77 years of age. With 18% of heart, a person is functioning 18, 20 hours a day. Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So one army officer came and asked, Swamiji, what is the secret of this enthusiasm, of this strength, of this power? An army officer came and asked, you know what Puja Gurudev said? He said, why you take rum, I take ram. That's the difference. You understood the difference? This makes a huge difference. So all these things called burnout and all, it's all the functioning of the ego only. To the extent you can become humble, simple person, to that extent you feel yourself to be insignificant, saying that, oh Lord, everything comes from you. I'm an ordinary human being. All the power is from you. The moment you do this, and over a period of time, you can train this and you can really make the ego humble. To that extent, life is full of joy. Full of joy. You know, Hanumanji did the entire burning the Lanka and this and that, everything. He came back. When Bhagavan Ramchandraji praised him, Hanuman, what all things you have done. You know what Hanumanji did? He just fell at the feet of Bhagavan and said, Bhagavan, save me. Don't praise me like this, because I am a mere monkey who knows only to jump from one branch to another. This is all I know. Whatever has happened there, you did it. You understand? If this attitude can be cultivated, all these terms like stress and strain and burnout and all this nonsense can be completely wiped out from our dictionary.
Yes, Swamiji, thank you.
Pradhan, did I answer?
Yes, Swamiji. It is very convincing.
Yes.
I think Suraj was trying to ask Meghna.
Okay, Suraj, if do you have a question, you can just type it out in the chat box if something is wrong with the audio.
I will ask it. I am Swamiji.
Okay.
Swamiji, my question was, you gave an example of Sania Mirza and a swimmer who for a while had gone for a seclusion or with a company of only like-minded people. Once they knew what their passion was. How important is it to have this like-minded people are going away from society for a certain period to achieve the goal we need to achieve?
See, one thing I'll tell you, concentrated focus happens only in isolation. This is called as tapas in our, tapas means what? Tapas means heat. If you want to concentrate, study with full concentration, you have to be alone. You have to practice, you have to be alone. Every great thing, if you want to do, you have to be alone. You cannot do it in a company, in a group of people. It's not possible. Whether it is sports, whether it is studies, whether it is meditation, everything happens only when you are all alone. Puja Gurudev used to say, alone to the alone, all alone. You understand? So this is what I find in all, you take any great person, any great scientist you take, they were all alone. When you are all alone, only then you can completely concentrate with full attention. And that's why these ashrams, etc. are created, where you can be all alone. You can be secluded. You spend time with yourself. Only then you can go within. So the whole point is this. When you are alone, you are able to go within. When you are able to go within, you know your strengths, your weaknesses. So unless you know yourself, how are you going to perform in the outer world? So to know yourself, you have to go within. To go within, you need minimum distractions from outside. You should avoid all distractions. So therefore, it is very important that you spend time with yourself. Every day, there should be some time where you spend time only with yourself. Only then you will know your strength, your weaknesses, the areas where to perform. Only then you can connect to God also. In meditation also, you can't do a group meditation, not possible. Real meditation is when you are alone. Only then you are able to connect with God. Only when you are connected to God, you know your strength, your weakness, everything. And only then you can bring out the best from you.
Yes, Swamiji, thank you.
Right.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Swamiji, I just wanted to ask, at the start of the talk, you said we should have an implicit sort of obedience to our teachers. But sometimes we'll think, what if our teachers are guiding us in the wrong way, or they're on the wrong path? And they're also taking us on that wrong path. Sometimes.
See, you know the story of Ekalavya? What is the story? His teacher rejected him. Isn't it? He wanted to learn. Dronacharya said, no, I am not going to teach you. Get out. You don't deserve. What did Ekalavya do? He made a murti of the teacher. He started worshipping that murti, that idol. And then he would practice. Unguided by anyone. And then over a period of time, what happened? Ekalavya became even superior to Arjuna, Drona's best disciple. So please understand, this attitude is the most important thing. There will be a lot of defects in our teacher, lot of imperfections in our teacher, in our parents. Yes, there will be a lot of weaknesses, lot of imperfections. But your attitude should be pure. Now, this is the most important thing. The most important thing is not a perfect teacher, but my perfect attitude towards every teacher. It is this which is going to bless you. Now the question may come, how did Ekalavya learn all the techniques which was not taught by Dronacharya? Ekalavya learned because that Lord who is seated in our hearts, he knows everything. So if your attitude is pure, if your attitude is noble, if your attitude is selfless, then that Lord ensures that you get all the knowledge, even though your teacher may be imperfect. Even if the teacher has rejected you, you will get the knowledge. So let us focus not on the imperfections of the teachers and parents. Let us focus on our own right attitude towards our teachers and parents. If that is there, definitely you are going to be blessed, irrespective of the kind of teachers. Did I answer?
Yes, Swamiji. Yes,
Right.
Swamiji. Thank you.
This is your opportunity, guys, to ask Swamiji questions. You won't get Swamiji so easily available. Anyone else, any questions, please ask. Otherwise, we'll end the discussion. Pradhan, did you want to ask?
Swamiji, I have another question. It's a bit kind of controversial. So the question
No
is,
problem.
like, we have to, as medical students especially, we have to go and we have to have plays and encourage organ donation. So I would like to know what religion has to say about it, or like from whatever, I would like to hear your thoughts about it. Like, people have the belief that sometimes if they donate their eyes, for example, next birth they'll be born blind. So is all of this true? I want to hear it from someone who has read the scriptures. Like, you can show it, it's proper proof then.
See, how do you define a noble action? A noble action is defined as that action which is beneficial for everyone, isn't it?
Yes, Swamiji.
What is an ignoble action? An action which is selfish, where I think only about myself, I don't think about others. Such an action is called a selfish action, an ignoble action. So what is the definition of good action, noble action, punya karma, etc.? Those actions where I think of the benefit of others, the welfare of others. So now if this is the definition, Paropakartham punyaya, papaya, parapidanam. Vyasa Rishi himself is defining what is punya karma, paropakara. So when you do paropakara, doing good for others, then that action is called punya karma. And parapidanam, when you give pain to others, then that is called as papa karma. So now you have to answer this. This is the definition. So if I am donating my organs for the welfare of others, for the welfare of society, is it punya karma or papa karma? You define. You tell.
It should be a punya karma.
Of course, 100%. How dare you can say that it is a papa karma? Impossible. So if you donate your eyes in this birth, so next birth what should happen? Not that your eyes will go away. You will get wonderful eyes. You don't even need specs then. Till 100 years, your eyes will be perfect. This is what should happen, isn't it? Because the law of life is, as you sow, so shall you reap. You are making others see by giving your eyes. You are helping others improve their vision. So what should happen to you? Your vision should improve. Yes or no?
Yes, Swamiji.
Then, so it's not that somebody made some statement and that you are stuck. No, you must stick to the laws the scriptures have given.
Yes, Swamiji.
Yes, it's very clear and it's rather common sense. So in that way, suppose I give food to others. So does it mean that next birth I will not get any food? Whatever I give others, I should not get, isn't it? If this is a law, then Annadanam will stop. Vidyadanam will stop. Every danam will stop because next birth I may not get. Suppose I give knowledge. So next birth I will become a fool then because I have given all knowledge away. You understand?
Yes, Swamiji.
So study the scriptures and make your thinking independent.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Right.
Okay. Thank you so much, Swamiji, for answering all of our questions. And thank you so much for that inspiring story and for helping us become happier people and helping us, like, bringing us closer to God. So thank you so much. And now I would like Pradhan to do the closing prayers.
Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishah Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini deshoyam kshobarahitah brahmana santu nirbhayaah. Om sarvesham swasti bhavatu, sarvesham shantir bhavatu, sarvesham purnam bhavatu, sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kashchit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om shanti shanti shantihi. Om purnamadha purnamidham purnaat purnamudhachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vasishyate. Om shanti shanti shantihi. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.